And welcome to You Orns post-match on YouTube. And welcome indeed to You Orns post-match on X. It is great to have you aboard on this brand new edition of You Orns post-match on X, and of course, streaming live on YouTube on the You Orns WFC YouTube channel. I'm Omar Moore, and while we wait, of course, for people to stream in here and come in, another victory for Watford, another victory for your Golden Boys. They've made it 3 on the spin in the Championship and 4 out of 4 this season in all competitions. Watford maintain their 100% unbeaten start to this season. That is very good news. And of course, Watford FC are in the building, and welcome aboard here across the platforms on X and on YouTube. Have your say, Watford fans. Hit the request button if you're on X. If you're on YouTube watching, bring your comments on aboard to this particular edition of the post-match on YouTube at the You Orns WFC YouTube channel. Watford today, I thought, got off to a very poor start. Were caught napping. A very sleepy start for Watford. The goal that Derby scored inside the first 2 minutes was a very sleepy one for Watford. They didn't close down. They didn't get involved. They didn't trap the ball. Larouci, who didn't have a good game, did not keep with his man. He walked away from him, as did Georgie, allowing the ball to be crossed into the box from that right-hand side in front of the rookery. And as a result of that, nobody defended the man who was all alone from about 10 yards out, smashing the ball low past the goalkeeper, Daniel Backman. And that's why Derby got the lead. Derby had a few spells after that, but it took Watford another 20 minutes to get into this match, and they did score, did Watford. Soon thereafter, Watford had a shot on target, tame header after 23 or 4 minutes, and then just around the half-hour mark, around 31 minutes or so, that man, Bio, the man comes good with the goal. A lot of criticism from Watford fans about Vakun Bio, that he doesn't score enough, and I agree, he doesn't score enough. But I've said this all along. The man works very, very hard every game. He was brilliant last week, even though he didn't score. And again, today, I thought it was brilliant. That goal they scored was an absolute worldie of a goal, world-class stuff from him. I liked what he was doing on the ball. It was very good. He held up the play pretty well. I know there were times in the game where he was going backwards and side to side, but the man does move the ball when he can go forward. He does. And I didn't see much wrong with his play today. I mean, people will quibble. They will say he should have had a hat-trick in this game, and perhaps he should have. He had a great chance in the second half, headed the ball over the bar, a really good shot. Then in the first half, after he had scored, he had a very good chance, wide-angle shot. The goalkeeper hit the ball, hit it straight up at Bio, who closed down. The ball took a ricochet all the way out to the right side, and then Bio had to chase it down. Tough angle, but he still could have scored, hit the ball just a little bit too hard and over the crossbar. Yeah, I agree. Maybe Bayo should have had a hat-trick today, but he played a very important role in this game, fellow Watford supporters, because he did do all the hard yards. He had the all-important equalizing goal. And let's face it, Watford dominated that first half. They had 68% possession in the first half. And when they finish the stats, I'm sure it's going to probably be still in the high 60s, because the thing with Watford in this game, they dominated the possession, dominated the play. Watford should have put this game away a little bit earlier than they did. We know that now we can say, and thank you very much, Watford fans. Please hit that request button and join us all on You Orns WFC. Let's have a conversation on X and on YouTube, where we are live. We have got the confirmation as of last night. Asprilla will be joining the Spanish club Girona. Girona is where Asprilla will be heading in Spain. That's been confirmed. BBC News from yesterday. We all know Asprilla has gone out of the building. But I can tell you, fellow Watford fans, that we are not missing Asprilla, as good as he was for us. We all know that this team is in very good nick at the minute. I thought that the substitutions today were excellent. Tom Cleverley, again, has been pushing all of the right buttons. All of them. Tom Cleverley has made sub after sub after sub in all of these games, and he has not put a foot wrong. Not once. Not once. Tell me where he's put a foot wrong. If anybody out there can tell me where Tom Cleverley's substitutions have not paid off, tell me. I'll be glad. I think we'd all be glad to listen to it. because again, today he pushed the buttons when you needed to. Sema was the set piece, table piece that he put on first, getting things warmed up down that left flank where I think Larouci did not have a great game, as I said. And then, of course, he brought on Quadwo Bar. Bar was brilliant. Again, and Bar was the key to getting that all-important winning goal. I did put up a poll on X about who was the man of the match. I should have put Bar on there as a choice as well. My three choices on there were Bayo, Pollock, and Sissoko. Those are my three choices because Matty Pollock had another very, very good game. This man cannot be dropped. I don't care what happens to the rest of that back line. We know that chances are that Wesley Hook could be gone. Who knows? But I don't care what you do with that line. Matty Pollock's got to start every one of these games. Brilliant performance again from Matty Pollock. And of course, as I said, the three choices I have for man of the match were Bayo, Pollock, and Sissoko. And look, I think Quadro Bar should be on that list as well. That was a key sub there from our man Clevs. He got that right. The energy was better because we flagged in that second half, didn't we? Our energy level was not good enough. Derby began to creep back into that game. And Derby, they made life tough for us early in the game, and they made life tough for us in parts of the game in the second half. But Watford really controlled this game once they scored each of the goals. Once Watford scored the first goal, Derby was scattered all over the pitch. And then once Watford scored, albeit against the run of play in the second half, Derby again looked scattered, looked nervy, looked all over the place. Although they did have one or two opportunities, Backman had to make a couple of saves late, as he always does, it seems, in these games. Backman doesn't really have a lot to do in the whole lot of these games, but he does make that big save at the end of a game that really keeps Watford in front. So, I'll tip my hat to Backman again because he made one or two strong saves toward the end. But you've got to be pleased about this Watford side so far. Let's look at the table, shall we? At the minute, the table reads like this. It's right now, as of the play, Sunderland on top. They have finished out the win against Burnley, who dropped their first of the season. Sunderland were down to 10 men there at home against Burnley. So Sunderland win the game. They are top of the lot with 9 points. We, your Orns, in second place on 9 points as well. We're 2 goal differences, 2 goals back on the goal difference, +5 for us, +7 for the Black Cats. And that's your top 2 in the automatic spots. And then Blackburn and West Bromwich Albion each on 7 points. Burnley on 6. That rounds out your top 5 after 3 games for your Hornets. 3 from 3. Where is your man of the match? Chime in. Let us know your man of the match today. For me, the You Orns man of the match is Musa Sissoko. Musa. Mama Musa. Got the goal and got the win and was brilliant in this game. Steady hand in midfield. The central midfield looks really good. TDB was quiet today, but Musa Sissoko was really strong in midfield. Even when Watford did not play well early on, he was a steady hand. And look, if you have any comments to make about this game, please hit that request button on X with your comments, please, on YouTube. And here's one from the YouTuber, Matt. Let's go. Come on, you on, says Matt. What a great win. Even when we went behind, it just shows that this Watford team can't just win games by taking the lead, but can win a match when going behind and still be strong. Matt, thank you very much for your comment there on YouTube, on the You Orns WFC YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that channel for those of you listening on X. I really thought that Watford, again, showed you another dimension to their character. I love the way that their character has developed under Clevs. Last week, our character was tested, a Stoke side that made things difficult and tricky, but we managed to get through that game. The week before, of course, the character was tested against Millwall, and we had a 2-0 lead, threw that away, and were really in some real trouble in that game before getting the late goal, which also consolidated the character building at this club under Tom Cleverley. And then today, same thing. We had character tested once again, going behind so early in a game. And I tell you, as you know, Watford fans from seasons past, we could have folded like a cheap tent with a goal being scored so early, even though there's lots of time in a game like this to go. Watford have seen this. We've seen this as Watford fans forever, where Watford fold early and just don't believe in themselves. But this bunch under Clevs believe in themselves. They never stop. They never stop going for goal. They never stop going for the win. The defending today, I thought, was very, very good, apart from, of course, the early goal where everybody was just sleeping. That Derby goal was down to people sleeping, not putting in the effort, not closing down. Larouci not closing down the ball, allowing the ball to get past him, allowing the runner to get behind him. Georgie spinning away from the ball as well. That was a critical mistake from Georgie today. He had a chance to close that down as well, but he spun away from the ball, and that gave the space for the ball to be crossed in across the box with that player waiting from around the 10, 12-yard area to smash the ball home. So that was really a thing that I'm sure Clevs will point out in the film. But after that, Watford, it was all Watford with all that possession. You were waiting for the net to bulge for Watford, and yet it didn't really get going until that Bio masterclass. That was a brilliant goal from Bio. And I know there's a ton of Watford fans. Some of you might be among us now listening or watching on YouTube who absolutely have not been the biggest fans of Vicune Bio. But this man, I've said this all along, and I am a big fan of his because the man works hard. The man tries. The man don't score as much as we'd love. I'd love to see him put in 15 to 20 for Watford every season. Obviously, that's not been the case thus far. If he can start to do that, I think he'll get a lot more of the Watford fan base on side with him. But the fact is, the man works hard, and you cannot deny hard work. You absolutely cannot overlook that. Had a commenter to me on X during the game saying, why the F do we have Bio in this club? And that was, of course, about 3 minutes before Bio scored. And of course, I responded back to him. That's why we have Bio at this club. Bio had a very good game today. No complaints from me about Vicune Bio. Listen, the man works so hard. And listen, I'd rather have someone with a really great work ethic who doesn't score as much as I'd like him to than someone who scores more goals but doesn't do anything else to help the team. I mean, I'm not comparing these two by any stretch. Take someone like a world-class player, for example, like Cristiano Ronaldo. He scores goals, but does he help the team? Does he track back? Does he defend? Does he ever defend? Has he ever defended in his life? Cristiano Ronaldo is one that, again, not comparing him with Bio. I'm not comparing Bio to him at all. I'm just saying I would rather have a Watford player like Bio who works his socks off, gives everything for the shirt, than somebody like a Cristiano Ronaldo who scores goals but don't help the team out. Selfish footballer. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. That's on the record. Not comparing the two. We all know who's the better footballer, but the better work rate is with Vicune Bio, and he earned that today with a fantastic world-class goal, worldy goal there. Watford has scored some worldy goals in all these games. They've scored some really world-class goals. We saw that in the first game against Millwall from Ido Kayembe, who was very quiet today, I thought, and from Georgie. And then, of course, in this game today, we saw a really nice goal, world-class goal from Bio. I thought that was a terrific goal. That will be one of the contenders for goal of the season, I'm sure. Great volley. Ball comes in. I think it was from Georgie or Ryan Andrews, and they absolutely fizzed the ball into him. And he got off the ground with a kind of a scissor kick volley right into the bottom left-hand corner in front of the Anne Swanson stand, and, of course, in front of those away Derby fans who started to get real quiet after that. And then Watford, I thought, took this game on in that first half, went on from strength to strength there. The whistle stopped them from scoring again. Bio had another chance to score. Second half, Watford started a bit sluggish like they did the first half. Derby got on top with a number of opportunities, ran the possession well, did Derby in the first 15 minutes or so, and then Musa Sissoko scoring in this contest. Very important goal around the 76th minute or thereabouts from him. You can't argue this Watford start. So many Watford fans were rather pessimistic, and you can understand it. I was never thinking they were going to get relegated. Some fans thought that relegation was on the cards, and I was thinking that's absolutely absurd to even be thinking that. But there were Watford fans that were very concerned that, as far as the business that we've done so far, giving Watford fans every reason to be pessimistic. Again, the financial constraints notwithstanding for Watford, I can tell you that you can understand a Watford fan that says that we might be struggling this season. Prior to the Millwall game, that was what the call was. Some Watford fans thinking they would even get relegated. Some Watford fans saying bottom six. Some Watford fans like me saying mid-table. I still think they're going to be around 8th or 9th, but I would love to be wrong about that. My prediction for this game today was Watford 2, Derby County 0. I have been almost spot on in every one of these games. Prediction number 1, I had Millwall and Watford drawing 2-2. Prediction number 2, I had Watford beating Stoke 3-1. And today I had Watford beating Derby 2-0. I have, listen, I'm gonna brag for a bit. Very, very close. I was a goal off on each of these predictions. Watford won against Millwall 3-2. I had a 2-2. Watford won 3-0 against Stoke. I had 3-1. And Watford won 2-1 today against Derby. I had 2-0. So listen, I've been almost spot on these predictions, on these scores. And long may it continue. Long may the success of Watford continue, as well as my prediction run. But it's not about my prediction run. It's about Watford FC. We have done really well this season for a team that don't even have the kind of transfer window that we were hoping for so far. This is a really good start. 100% record. How can you argue with that? We might lose both Wesley Hood, and we've lost a Spear already. We might even lose Wesley Hood here, which would be a big loss if he does go, be a massive loss if he does go. But look what we're doing without both of them. Aspria's gone off to Girona, and maybe Hood's going to go somewhere as well, Turkey or Saudi Arabia or somewhere. And look at us now, second place, 3 from 3. Matty Pollock looking really good. Isn't Matty Pollock really good? Blimey, Matty Pollock has been outstanding. Outstanding. Going to be a candidate for player of the season before too long. I know it's only 3 games in the champ, but come on now. Matty Pollock's been brilliant. Musa Sissoko's been brilliant. Georgie's been brilliant. TDB, brilliant. Not quite as good a game today from TDB. Didn't have his usual forward charging runs. But the man's got some confidence in him. He's a really good footballer. He'll grow and he'll continue to get better. Kwadwo Bar. Can't let him go out the door. Got to keep Bar on this team. He had been loaned out several times. I think he went to Reading or somewhere else, or Burton Athletic or Burton Albion, or wherever he went to last season for a bit. Wow. Kwadwo Bar is absolute fire. That guy's fire. We've got some good prospects here and good players here. And Tom Cleverley's trusting these players, and they're trusting him. You got Vata. We ain't seen Vata come out for the championship yet, right? You got Dumbia. We ain't seen him come out on the championship yet. But these are good players. But I would still, wouldn't you, still like to see a couple of others? Would like to see another central defender in here. James Morris, by the way. I thought James Morris had a pretty good game today. And I can tell you, I am not the biggest fan of Mr. Morris, but he's played some decent football for us, because last season he was gone missing, wasn't he? But this season, I think he's come back into his own a bit here now. I don't know how much time he's going to get now when we get another center back in here and whatever happens with Wesley Hood. But I got to tell you, he's being played ahead of Porteous. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I wouldn't have forecasted that at the beginning of the season. Porteous got a sub performance today, came on as a sub. But James Morris, not bad today. Who was your man of the match? The You Orns man of the match is Musa Sissoko. He was terrific today. Calm, steady hand, really knows how to sense the play. He's got a really good sense of the orchestration of the play. He absolutely gets a good measurement of the game and the tempo of the contest. He's really good at being able to recycle the ball, keep it moving, keep the engine room boiling, and get these players involved. He gets players involved in the game. You know, he wins most of his duels, and he's 35 years old. I know that's really young, but not in football. It's considered ancient, I suppose. But boy, could you figure that you're going to get this kind of production from Musa? 2-year deal at Watford, you know. That's one of the best signings we've had. For all of us who want more signings, and I'm one of them, and I'm sure some of you are, that signing for Musa Sissoko for 2-year deal, that's turned out to be the best signing of the lot. I mean, you tell me if you think the same or not. That's a really good signing. This man adds some real stature to our midfield. I think it helps TDB. It helps TDB have some freedom to roam. But listen, I think that we're set up pretty well. I would love to see a couple more come in before the 30th, by the 30th. Realistically, though, who are we getting? Probably a striker from Bournemouth or somewhere else, maybe. There's been a lot of shouts. Ogbonna's rumored to come in here. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we need some more stature in those places up front. We need some more stature in the defending. So despite the fact the defense has been good, I mean, after the second minute, the defense was excellent in this game. The defense was very good last week against Stoke. We've got Plymouth coming up, of course, on Tuesday. Wayne Rooney's lot come to the Vic. We've now won 3 from 3 at the Vic. We only lost, you know what? We only won 6 games all of last season at the Vic. We've already won half as many of that as that. I'm going to repeat that. We only won 6 home matches last season. And already at the Vic, we've already won half as many as that. In just 3 matches, we've won 3 from 3 at the Vic, including that game in that game included the game, of course, against the MK Doms in the Carabao. That's outstanding stuff. Tom cleverly laid the marker down for the Watford supporters this season. He wanted us to be much, much better at home, to reestablish the home dominance that we have long since lost. We didn't have that home dominance since the time Cisco did his disco in 2021, and we had an outstanding campaign at the Vic where we lost just, I think, twice or 3 times the entire campaign at the Vic under Cisco doing his disco in the championship that got us promoted the last time out. But this season, what a flying start from us. Here's the stats. I'm going to read them to you, fellow Watford supporters, and thank you for watching also on YouTube. It's great to have you aboard here. Thank you so very much, YouTubers, and for you on X on the post-match. Lovely to have you aboard. Have your say. Hit that request button. Let us know your thoughts about your golden boys. Who would you like to see come in? Who would you like to see leave the club? Loser did not have any play in the club today. Is he going to be gone? Would you like to see him gone? Who else would you like to see gone, and who else should stay? It's a case of should I stay or should I go? I think the Clash just wanted to let you know that as far as Watford are concerned. should I stay or should I go? Well, here are the Watford stats for the game today. Watford 65.2% of the possession for the entire match. That is a staggering amount of possession against the newly promoted Derby side who had 34.8%. Fair play to Derby. I predicted before the game that Derby would make things difficult for Watford. I had a 2-0 prediction, but I thought that Watford would be made to suffer a bit in this game and that Derby would make things difficult for Watford, and they did for a time at times in the game. So, look, the bottom line is that Watford got the win, and I predicted they would. 12 shots for Watford in total to 8 for Derby. 3 shots on target for Watford. Same thing for Derby. They had 3 shots on target. 6 shots off target for Watford and 3 shots off target for Derby. The number of block shots today, 3 block shots for Watford, 2 for Derby. Total number of touches in the box, 21 for Watford, 19 for Derby. Goalkeeper saves, 2 for Watford, 1 for Derby. Aerial duels, 1. 21 of them for Watford, 16 for Derby. 10 fouls committed by Watford, 11 by Derby. 4 corners for Watford and 2 for Derby County. That was the story on the stat line. Again, let me read out the table again before saying good evening to you all on this edition of You Orns Post-Match. It's lovely to have you aboard. And you YouTubers, I've not forgotten you. I'm going to read out your comments in a minute. Thank you for commenting, but I just want to give you the table again, the top 3 this time in the table, and welcome aboard everybody on Post-Match, on YouTube, and on X. Here is the table. Let me read to you again the top 3 or 4 positions. Sunderland on top. They beat Burnley, today with a win there. Sunderland were down to 10 men in that match, and they beat Burnley in that one. I think it was 2-1 was the final score, I think. They're on top, Sunderland, with 9 points, a +7 goal difference. Then that's us, the Golden Boys, in second place, a +5 goal difference, both on 9 points. And then Blackburn Rovers and then West Brom, each on 7 in this one today. That's your top 4 in the table. So, Watford fans on YouTube, let me read out your comments, and thank you fans on X. Matt says, that's the thing I like about Bio. He may not score many goals, says Matt on YouTube, but he may not score many goals for the club, but he tracks the ball down well, and he's tracks the ball high up on the pitch. so that we can win the ball in a better area to at least have a chance to score. Matt, 100% with you there on YouTube. That is absolutely it. I think, let me tell you this, and for those of you on X, bear with me. If you want to chime in on bio, please hit the request button. If you have anything to say about any of the Watford players today, please hit that request button on X. But Matt, you're spot on. I think Bio is so underappreciated by a lot of Watford fans. He is so underappreciated, and I get it. He is not a prototypical number 9. I get it. He is not scoring goals at the rate that I would love him to, that any of us as Watford supporters would love to see. But let's be having it absolutely right here. The man works his tail off for this club. He plays for the shirt, mate. He plays for the shirt. How many Watford players have we said all of last season, season before, and season before that, who weren't playing for the shirt? That's all we want. How come many of us are upset with Bayer? It's unbelievable, mate. The man can't catch a break, Matt. He just cannot catch a break at all for the Watford fan base. And I understand a lot of it is he's not scored as many goals. But listen, Matt, you're 100% right. The man does all the little things really well. And I think the fans really should appreciate that a bit more about Fakun Bayo. Again, on X, please have your say and hit that request button and have a go. We're doing this for about 5 more minutes before saying goodbye on X and on YouTube. I'm going to read out your YouTube comments. Roman says, no way before the season started would I have predicted 4 wins, including the cup. I'd be more than happy, says Romans, to be proven wrong. Romans, thanks for the comment. I think we all would, Romans. I'm with you there. I think we're all with you there, Romans. Thank you for the comment. Absolutely would be happy to be proven wrong. 4 out of 4. I mean, all the Watford fans that came on here, pre-match on Millwall and pre-match on Instagram, where I'm heading to next, at youornswfc on Instagram, to do another live read-in of your comments and analysis of this match. I think all of us, and many of us, were saying that Watford were not going to have this great season. Many of us, not one of us said that they were going to get promoted. Not one of us said that they were going to start 4-4. Not one of us said that we would win 3 out of 3 at the Vic. When we'd won only 6 the whole of last season, we've won half as many as that number already in 3 trips through at the Vic. We are 100% strong, and 100% strong on the entire season, with Plymouth coming in here on Tuesday at the Vic again, a spell of 4 games at the Vic. You know, if you had told me that we would have 4 games in the row at the Vic last season, I think we'd all have been very nervous about that last season. 4 home matches in a row at the Vic last season. What are your chances of getting a win out of any of them? We would have been very nervous about that last season. But now, bring it on. Bring it on, mate. Come on, Wayne. Bring your lot in here too. A little bit overconfident, perhaps. In these cup games, anything can happen. But we've got to talk about this game. I'm going to read out your comments on YouTube. Thank you for joining the YouTube channel on You ORNS WFC on YouTube. You ORNS WFC, of course, on X. You ORNS WFC on Instagram. At the bottom of this hour, it's off to Instagram land. I might keep the YouTube channel open for a bit longer to read out more comments. And a lot more comments coming in from Instagram shortly. They'll get on the box for that at You ORNS Extra on Instagram Live, at You ORNS WFC across all platforms. And of course, the podcast is coming up as well with another round of You ORNS on Apple and on Google and on Spotify, certainly, as well as a few others. I'm going to read your comments, more of those coming in on YouTube before we get to the bottom of the hour here. It is now nearly 5:30 in the United Kingdom. Wherever you are from across the world, thank you very much indeed for joining here on You ORNS Post-Match on both YouTube and on X. Wherever you are around the world, thank you for joining. I'm coming to you live, as ever, from San Francisco here in California, where it is actually raining. It does actually rain in California. It does actually rain here. Newsflash, it is absolutely coming down. Well, it had been. It seems like it's slowing down a bit now, but it is actually raining here in San Francisco. Actually, the rain normally comes in November, December, and January or so. That's the rain season, and into February. But today it's come a little bit early. It was raining at the Vic all day, for much of the day at least, and then the sun came out and the goals came out, and Watford got another priceless 3 points. A great start to our season. 3 from 3. That is great. And here's the game in lemon. Sissoko was amazing. Sema was disappointing. Very true. The Gaming Lemon has chimed in with that comment on YouTube. I can't disagree with you, Gaming Lemon. You're absolutely right. I mean, so Sissoko was absolutely amazing, absolutely sensational. Ken Sema coming in off the bench, not so much. And I thought that he was going to do well because Larucci, to me today, Gaming Lemon, was not as good as he was last week. He got his first start in the championship today, but not as good in the start today as he was coming off the bench last week against Stoke. It happens that way sometimes. I think these early games are a chance for Clevs to assess who is best coming off the bench, who is best starting. Quadro Bar will obviously start Tuesday in that Carabao Cup game, but him coming off the bench has proven to be absolutely money in the championship because he was instrumental to getting that winning goal, helping that along for Sissoko and the Golden Boys today. Great job there. Although Sema says Gaming Lemon, he continues on, Gaming Lemon does. Although Sema was not given the ball enough, I agree as well with that. Maybe that's part of it too as well, Gaming Lemon, that that Sema did not have enough of the ball in that second half. He's got to fight for the ball. He's got to get the ball down the channel. But if the play is being directed differently and Sema is not getting joy down that left flank, it's probably going to be a lot more difficult for him to get involved in the game. It's rare that Sema has such an off-color game, but today, I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on Sema here, but he just did not affect the proceedings enough. He had, I think, one incursion into the box of Derby in that second half in front of the Rookery, but yeah, it wasn't effective today for Sema, and he will have an off game or two, but he's still a very good threat for us when he comes into the game, and cleverly brought him in, I think, to set the table, Gaming Lemon, for what we saw a few minutes later, the double sub that came in. And I remember Bio came off at some point as well. But before that, there was a double sub, if memory serves me. Morris came off, if I remember correctly. And also, of course, the other player that came off, I forget the name. But all I can tell you is Bar came on. That's all I can tell you about that. And Bar made a really big difference. These subs by Cleverly are spot on all season so far. It's so good to see the way that he's done this. Sissoko was brilliant today. Thanks for the comments, Gaming Lemon. Greg from Chicago, no, in the Czech Republic, where it is now 6:30 in the evening. Thank you, Greg, as ever, for chiming in here on the YouTube, on the You Orns post match on both X and on YouTube. For those of you on X, if you'd like to chime in, you're more than welcome. We're going to probably wrap things up in about 2 or 3 minutes time because I'm going to hop on over to Instagram and continue this. So X, we will be doing about 2 more minutes and then we'll continue actually on YouTube. So if you are on X listening to this presently live, please head to the You Orns WFC YouTube channel at You Orns WFC. And also, if you'd like to go to Instagram at You Orns WFC, in a couple of minutes time, we'll go there live for some comments and we'll keep the YouTube channel running as well for those of you who are commenting there. Great to see you aboard on YouTube. Thank you very much. Here's what Greg had to say. Great game, great entertainment. Yep, it was. I think Watford started out slow, Greg, today, but unfortunately, but fortunately, I should say, we dominated that first half with the possession. Just could not get 2 goals in the first half. We did get one, though, a world-class goal by Vicarage Road, who I think is amongst the man of the match considerations, although the You Orns man of the match is Moussa Sissoko. Absolutely sensational stuff from him in midfield. Absolutely brilliant goal. Patient, calm finish. The ball came back out to him, and he calmly side-footed it into the back of the net. That was a very good goal from Sissoko. Really good. You know, some players would absolutely try to smash that ball or hit the ball so hard that they'd smash it over the post or hit it against the post or smash it over the crossbar, I should say. But today, great composure from Watford when they needed it most. Moussa Sissoko brings you calmness and composure and a steady hand. And he displayed that in midfield today. He displayed it in front of goal today. Just took his time and just side-footed the ball in with some power. And it was into the back of that net. And it was really a goal deserved for him and for Watford. Derby County, I warned earlier, would make life really, really hard for Watford, and they made life hard at times. Watford had a lot of possession. I said that Watford would need to be patient in this game to win it. I said that in the pre-match, and I turned out to be correct because that's exactly what Watford needed, patience in this game. The goal against them came way too early, slack defending, switched off, sleepy in the first 2 minutes, but Watford showed you their character and their mettle in this game, coming from behind to win the game. This is a very good sign for Watford, and I know it's a team they played that was newly promoted, but I said before the match that Watford would have a lot of trouble with Derby because Derby would come in fearless. They would come in with a lot to prove. They would come in with nothing to lose in some senses, and they will go for you and go at the game. And there were periods of play where they did, but Watford had the ascendancy, if not the control of the game. And once they scored that wonder goal, that worldy goal from Bayo, you saw how unsettled Derby got. And then Watford just came out on top of them, dominated the possession. But possession, as we know, is 9/10 of the law. A goal is the most important 10th of all. And they got that through Bayo. And then in the second half through Sissoko. Magical, brilliant play, skilled play, incisive play. I thought Bayo was excellent today. Again, lots of Watford fans have got on his case, and I just think that he does not get the respect. Yes, he doesn't get enough goals, and I understand that, but the man is absolutely electric. The man can hold up the ball. I know some people complain about that, but I think he holds up the ball pretty darn well. He tracks back, he defends, he sets up play, he starts play. I don't know what more you want from him. Of course, obviously the goals would be nice to have more of them, but the man scores goals like this one today. And my goodness me, I know he could have had a hat trick, but the man absolutely works his socks off for you. And you can't deny that, even if you're not a fan of his. I'm going to read out the rest of your comments here. Two more. Brown Electrons on YouTube says, tough win. Yes, indeed, Brown Electrons. Tough win for the Golden Boys, but they got it done. Watford are finding, speaking of what Brown said there, Watford are finding multiple ways to win these games. That is very, very good. That's a very good sign for this Tom Cleverley side. They are finding multiple ways to win games. First game they won after throwing away a 2-0 lead, getting the decisive winner near the end of the game. The game last week against Stoke, they were on top and dominant. And then today, trailing the game, they managed to get the winner, scoring 2 goals without reply to do so. So Watford, what's really promising and exciting for the Watford supporters is that this club, this team that we love, this men's first team, are finding different ways to win every week. And it's a different player every week. That is a very, very good sign to start this season. And we don't even have our full complement of players yet. That's a very encouraging sign. I know it's 3 games in, 4 games in, but that is really, really good. You want to see that from your side. You want to see the character building. We saw that against Millwall, especially after throwing away a 2-0. And we saw that again today, trailing very early against this Derby side at home, and then to score those 2 goals that we scored. Great stuff from Cleverley. Sissoko says, Jay. Hello, Jay. Hope you're doing well there, Jay. Thanks for your comment. Sissoko has aged like fine wine, Jay says. Absolutely has. 35 years old, mate, and he is still plugging along here. 2-year deal with at the Vic. I don't know about you. I know Tom Ince scored that hat-trick last week, but I want to see more from Ince in the Championship. And he had a 2-year deal of his own. He signed that recently, but my goodness me, Moussa Sissoko has been absolutely brilliant. He's been my man of the match, the You Orns man of the match in 2 games. I know Georgie was the one lots of Watford fans picked for the game against Millwall, but I thought that Sissoko was the man of that match. The man of the match, I think last week, I forget which week it was now. I thought that the man of the match in the first game was Sissoko. People said Georgie, but I think it was Moussa in the first match against Millwall and again today. But Moussa Sissoko has been excellent so far. Absolutely brilliant from him. Matt says, we've got Super Tom Cleverley, and I just don't think you understand. Good stuff there, Matt. Thank you for that. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to, at this point on X, Andrew, thank you very much for listening on the You Orns post-match on X, and everybody else who was in on X listening earlier who popped in and popped out. Thank you very much indeed for that on X. What I'm going to do now, for those of you on X listening at this time live, please switch over to the You ORNS WFC YouTube channel. That's You ORNS WFC YouTube channel. And we will continue on there and on Instagram, on You ORNS Extra on Instagram Live. That's coming up in about a minute now at You ORNS WFC on Insta. That's coming up right now. But for those of you on YouTube, please stay where you are. Got a few more comments and some observations on this Watford win today. Don't forget, of course, the You ORNS YouTube channel at You ORNS WFC, and the podcast coming up will be coming up either later on or early tomorrow on Apple, on Spotify, and numerous other podcasting platforms. So those of you on X, thank you very much for your time. We'll be switching over now to YouTube and to Instagram. Take care, everyone. The final score for those of you on X was Watford 2, Derby County 1. We are still second place in the automatic places. 9 points from 9, 3 from 3. And we are right there for Watford now. Coming up on Tuesday is the game against Wayne Rooney's lot. Plymouth come to town in the Carabao on the X channel. Thank you very much. Take care. And you ORNS! Those of you on YouTube, stay with me here. We will continue on YouTube and on Instagram, where we're going to go live right now on You ORNS WFC. So good to have you here live and in charge on You ORNS Extra on Instagram Live. Those of you on YouTube, stay with us for the next few minutes. We are now live on both YouTube and on Insta. Well done, You ORNS! Get in, you golden boys! And we are on YouTube and, on Instagram Live. It's great to see you aboard. Niall, hello to you on Instagram. We are here live with our YouTube followers. You ORNS, says Niall. Well done, mate. Good to see you, Niall. On board here. Jack Taverneau has joined us live on Insta. Also, Gary, hello to you, Gary, live on Insta. Jack Taverneau, You ORNS. Well done there, Jack Taverneau. Great to see you back in the building. We're also on YouTube live on You ORNS WFC on the YouTube channel. Thank you for your comments on YouTube. If you are still on YouTube, continue to come with your comments. It's great to see you aboard and fantastic to have you on Instagram, on You ORNS Extra, on Instagram Live. Niall Gill says, been saying this for ages. Bio is so clear of that tap-in merchant. He absolutely is. Thank you for that, Niall, on Instagram. For those of you on YouTube, I want you to hear that again. I'm going to read out what Niall just said on Insta. Been saying this for ages. This is Niall on Insta. Bio is so clear of that tap-in merchant. That is a Watford fan who knows his stuff. That is a Watford fan in Niall who absolutely appreciates Bakun Bio. The man works so much harder. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to slate Rajovic. He scored the winner against Millwall. But come on, mate. I'm sorry. The work rate is not even in the same galaxy. It ain't even in the same solar system, mate. This man, Bakun Bio, is not getting the respect from Watford fans. He just isn't. I'm sorry. There are loads of Watford fans. Niall Gill and I are probably the only two Watford fans that actually appreciate what Bio does for the team. The man plays his socks off, mate. I would love to see the man score more goals, and so would Niall. I'm sure Niall would love to see more goals from him too. But I'm sorry, the man works really hard up and down the pitch all day. He could have had a hat-trick today, but the man was brilliant. Again, another very good shift from Musa. I'm going to read out all your comments. Pollock assist, says Rolling Stone on YouTube. Worth a mention. Yeah, that's a good point. Pollock did have the assist on the goal. Got to give him credit for that. Before Rolling Stone, before you walked in, I was talking about Matty Pollock. I said he had a very good game again. I put him on my short list of choices for man of the match. But the You ORNS man of the match is Musa Sissoko, who was brilliant again today. But that's a good point. Pollock's been brilliant this season, and that assist is worth a mention. Thank you for that, Rolling Stone. I'm going to read out your comments on YouTube and on Insta. Gary Costa. Hello to you, Gary. What a win, says Jack Taberner. From the boys, great performance. What a turnaround from the boys. Oh, Musa Suzuku. Oh, Musa Suzuku. That's Jack Taberner singing the praises of that man, Musa. Mama, Musa. Get in the goal. That is the winning goal today from your man of the match, the You Orns man of the match, Musa Sissoko. Brilliant stuff from him. Great in the midfield. Terrific stuff there. And then to have the presence of mind to just calmly slot that ball home. Just taking the game, slowing it down, slowing his shot down, but tapping it. A really good, firm scoring chance, and he made it count today. I thought Bayo was brilliant. Yes, he could have had a hat-trick. The man works. How many chances do you see Rajovic have in an average game? How many chances? Yeah, I know that Bayo don't score enough, but I'm sorry. Again, Bayo's been brilliant this season. I've got no complaints with him. I would love more goals, but there we go. That's the way it goes at the minute. Dominant performances, Gary Costa on Instagram. Darren, hello, Darren. Nice to see you aboard. Darren has joined us. The Orns are going up and the Scum are going down. Scum are going down and the Orns are going up and the Scum are going down, says Jack Taberner on Insta, where you can join us right now at youornswfc. Please follow on Insta at youornswfc, on X at youornswfc. We had X on here earlier on and had a fair number of listeners there. And you on YouTube, thank you very much for your comments, continuing to follow along here on YouTube, on the You Orns WFC YouTube channel. And of course, Dan Atkins has joined us. Dan, hello to you. You Orns! Hello, done, Dan. Well done, mate. Watford is on top, has joined us. Hello there, Watford is on top. Watford are in second at the moment, but we could well be on top, Watford on top, if we continue to play like this, to win like this, and we don't even play that well. Listen, if you really want to think that Watford played a great game today, they didn't play well today, Watford. I don't want to be that stick in the mud, but they didn't have the greatest game today, did they? But you know what? They played well when it counted, and they won the game when it truly, truly mattered, of course. Bio, says Matt, on YouTube, has a comment. Reminds me, Bio does, says Matt, on YouTube, a little bit of Troy Deeney. Even when Troy Deeney didn't score when he was at Watford, he still worked as hard as Bio does now to help the team out. Matt, thank you for that comment. It means so much to hear Watford fans actually do. There are Watford fans like Matt and like Niall on YouTube, on Instagram, who do actually appreciate Bio. The man does this job. I mean, the man works for the team. Why would anybody be down on that? I'm sorry. The man works for the team. He plays for the shirt. Thank you for the comment, Matt. Thank you for that comment, Matt. And Niall, for you, thank you as well for that too, because it's really true. I had a Watford fan on X earlier before, he said earlier before the goals started coming in for us today. What the F is Bio doing at this club? And literally 3 minutes after he said that, Bio scored. Bio scored, and then I went and replied to him and said, that's why he's here, and that's what he's doing here on X. And then we had a little back and forth. That fan on X did not rate Bio very much. But again, we agreed to disagree on that. The man, well, listen, when the man ain't scoring, he helps the team out. I'm sorry. When he's not scoring, he helps the team. When he is scoring, he helps the team. There are players we've had in here like Ismail Assar, who is at, I'm not going to say their name, 2 words, in the Premier League. That's where he is now. But you know what? Even when he was here, when Sarr was here, he scored goals, scored great goals. But did he really track back and help the team? Come on now. He didn't, right? He didn't track back and help the team. He sulked. When he didn't score, he sulked. He got down on himself and he sucked, right? He skulked and he sulked, right? That was Sarr when he was here. Right? When he wasn't in the game, he completely disappeared. Didn't help us anywhere on the pitch. When Bio ain't scoring, he always helps. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear anybody criticizing Bio. I mean, you're allowed to if you want, you're allowed to say that. If you don't like Bio, fine, you don't like him. But I'm sorry. I'll take 10 of him on the team, even if he don't score as much as I want him to. The man works his socks off for the shirt, mate. and absolutely you can't discount that. All your comments coming in. Welcome aboard on YouTube and on X. Yours truly, Omar, here on You ORNS Post Match on YouTube and You ORNS Extra on Instagram Live right here on this sunny. Actually, now it's still raining here in San Francisco. Rainy Saturday morning here in the US in California. More comments coming in. My goodness me, we have the new Didier Drogba, says Jack Tabernal on Insta. Mr. Vacunbio, we're joint top of the league, Omar, says Jack Tabernal. That ain't second, it's joint first. All right. Jack Tabernal, good job there from you on this edition of You ORNS Extra on Instagram Live. And of course, right here on the You ORNS WFC new YouTube channel, the YouTube channel. Yes, it is the YouTube channel from here on YouTube. So good to see everybody in the building. More. Please spread the word about the You ORNS YouTube channel, You ORNS WFC on YouTube. Please spread the word there. And on X, at You ORNS WFC. And on Insta, where we are live as well right now on You ORNS WFC on Instagram. Harvey C. Smith has joined us. Hello, Harvey. Watford Eric has joined us. Hello, Eric. Hornet Gary in the building. Hornet Gary, how are you, mate? Good to see you. And Joe Larkin has joined us. Joe. Good to see you, mate. Yours. The Instagram crew has really arrived now. That is right, Jack. Watford on top. Joe G's has joined us. And Joe Larkin. Are we happy, Joe G's us? Are we happy? We are happy, mate. Yours. We're top of the league. We're top of the league. Watford FC. We're top of the league. Absolutely right. I know, joint top. I know. Goal difference, we're in second, yes. But we are joint top. Absolutely there, Jack. We are happy, Joe G's. Good to see you. And good to see everybody on YouTube as well. We're live on You ORNS WFC on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. And we are also live on Instagram at You ORNS WFC with the You ORNS Extra show on Instagram Live. Your man of the match, Omar, is the question from Joe Larkin on Insta. He asks, who is your man of the match? Well, the You ORNS man of the match, my man of the match today is Musa Sissoko, Joe. I thought Musa Sissoko, calm, steady hand in midfield, a game that really we had control of in some instances as far as possession goes, but we just needed a bit more discipline at times today. Some of our passing today wasn't good enough, but Musa Sissoko held things down in midfield, and the balance of the game and the tempo of the game shifted often in our favor in very valuable parts of the game, Joe. And of course, to add to that, the goal that he scored, and that's why, those are the reasons why, for me, Musa Sissoko is the You ORNS man of the match. I'd love to see your comments and your thoughts, Joe, and everyone else watching, as to who your choice for man of the match would be today. I had given on X a poll of 3 different choices: Vacunbio, Matty Pollock, and Musa Sissoko. Those are my 3 choices on X. Most people so far, I think, have been saying Sissoko at the minute. I have not checked back since, but I want to see who your man of the match is. So please let us know. Here we go. EI up the Football League we go. Jack Taverner says that on Insta. Watford is on top. We are going up. We are going up. Say, we are going up. We are going up. Say, we are going up. That is the word from Watford is on top. And they are on top, joint top, with Sunderland, the Black Cats. Listen, credit to Sunderland today. I mean, I'm saying this now as a footballing observer, not as a big Watford supporter. I give Sunderland a lot of credit today with that win. I would have rather a draw, but Sunderland were down to 10 men in that game against Burnley, and they still won. And that's immense credit for them. The Black Cats are definitely going to be one of them teams that we're going to be looking at this season. They do have the top spot in the division, but we do have the same number of points as they do. They just have a goal difference that's better. And if the league were going to be ending today, we'd be automatics. But joint top is what we are. Joint top, mate. We go. Here's Jack Tabernor's man of the match. For Jack Taberner, Musa Sissoko, he says, is my man of the match. Another unsung hero for most of the day until he scored. Yeah, Musa Sissoko was brilliant today. He was overlooked because of the way that the game was going. But once he scored the winning goal, you could then see the whole rhythm of his game from start to finish. Great discipline, wise head, very sharp and smart with his play. I felt that he improved the level of passing as the game went on, because in the early part of the game, the first 20 minutes, it took us a long time to get involved, and we were all over the place with our passing at times. That final ball just didn't get through, but then we absolutely started to rev things up after that. Reading out your comments then, I thought Pollock, says Joe G's, was immense, winning lots of duels and even got a cheeky assist. That's a good shout there, Joe G's, on Instagram, because I put him as one of my choices in the poll on X for man of the match. Pollock was getting some joy from some of the Watford fans in that poll that I put up on X at youornswfc, and that's not a bad call. Pollock did an excellent job again. He had another brilliant game. Oh man, nobody misses Wes Hood. I'm sorry to say that, because Wesley Hood is a really good pro. He was the player of the match, player of the season for us last season. But nobody's missing Wes Hood at the minute, whether he stays or goes. Matty Pollock has shown you that he belongs in this starting lineup each and every week. Is a real leader. Sierralta had another good game. Nobody talks about Sierralta, but Sierralta had a very effective game today. Can't look at, he chased down some balls where he lost the ball or someone lost it, and he was running one-on-one against defenders. I mean, Sierralta normally don't do that for that long. He busted a gut running down the pitch, trying to chase the ball to stop defenders. He did it about 3 or 4 times in that second half. And you don't see that from Sierralta very often. He's much more stationary than that. But my goodness, he had some absolute lung-busting runs to keep up with that Derby attacker and then force him out and force a corner or force a throw-in. And I thought that Sierralta was excellent today as well. Good call, though, Joe G's, on Pollock, because Pollock did some very good things today that you might not see on the score sheet. Yes, he did get that very important assist. Can't complain there. Good game for Pollock again. He has been absolutely fantastic. He is going to be also in that running for player of the season. I know we just started the season, but Joe G's, you're right, mate. This guy cannot be ignored. Pollock's been excellent this season. Joe Larkin, Musa Sissoko, top goal scorer, might put a bet on. Well, it might not be a bad shout, Joe. Joe Larkin, not a bad shout. It's the best signing we have. Let's be honest. We'd love to see more signings come in here, but that's the best signing we've had so far this season. I mean, can't complain. Billy Hughes has joined us. Hello, Billy. Hello to you. Kayembe did not have the greatest game today, did he, Jack Taberner? What a match, said Billy Hughes. Happy to see you, Omar. Happy to see you as well, Billy. Nice to have you aboard. We are live on both Instagram and on YouTube. We'll be live again for a few more minutes. We might even do a quiz, might do a joint quiz here on both YouTube and on Instagram. That will be very fun to see if we can get a joint quiz going here. I'm happy to see you, Billy. Thank you again. Sissoko, man of the match for Billy Hughes. Thanks, Billy, for that. Joe Larkin, if we reinvest this Asprilla money, we could be in for a very good season. Absolutely, Joe Larkin. I agree with you. I think this is very promising. That's right. I didn't talk about this often enough. I mentioned it early before we did come to Instagram. Asprilla's out the door. He's at Girona. He has joined the Spanish club Girona. And that's goodbye to Asprilla. I do want to thank Asprilla, though, for his time at Watford. I thought he was terrific. I would have loved to see him score even more goals, but he did some very important things for us, and they should never be forgotten. Sissoko, man of the match, as Billy said. Billy Hughes said, also, new striker coming soon. Yes, there is going to be one. We just don't know who it's going to be yet. There are rumors about Bournemouth, rumors about this club and that club. But I do think that there's going to be at least 2 players coming in, Billy. Probably we'll see the striker, and we'll probably see a centre-back come in, because Wesley Hood probably will not play football for Watford this season. He might play on Tuesday, though, maybe, in the Cup. But there have been all kinds of rumours about Wesley Hood probably going off to either Turkey. I saw that in a report last week. Or probably going to Saudi Arabia. Look, some players want new challenges. And, of course, it's all about the money as well. Wes Hood's a veteran player. I think he's 31 now, 29, 30, whatever. It's human nature. If you want a new challenge, you want to go somewhere, get a big payday. If you're going to go to Saudi Arabia with all the listen, there's lots of issues off the field about Saudi Arabia. As far as footballers are concerned, it's about the money, and that's why Jordan Henderson went to Saudi Arabia, and you saw what happened, how that worked out for him. And Cristiano Ronaldo is still in Saudi Arabia, and obviously he doesn't mind that money. He gets like millions of dollars per game, apparently, millions of pounds per match. So don't think Ronaldo's going to complain about that very much. Huey has joined us. Hello, Huey. My sister was asleep when Bio scored, says Jack Tabanor. David Lambert's joined us also on Instagram. Hello, David. Nice to see you. Great to see you aboard. And Jebison is the guy. That's the striker. Thank you, Billy Hughes, for that. That's the name of the striker. Billy Hughes has just told us that might be coming to Watford. That's likely, that could be in the mix for Watford by the time we get to the 30th of August when the transfer window shuts. In terms of the quiz today, I don't know if anybody's up for a quiz. It seems like we're all so happy about Watford today. The way that Watford won this game, that perhaps the quiz will have to be another time. But look, it's been an exciting day for Watford. Scott says it is happening, says Billy Hughes. Now, that would be Scott Duxbury. Billy Hughes on you. For those of you watching on YouTube, Billy Hughes on Instagram has just told us that Chairman Scott Duxbury, and yes, we do know Scott Duxbury, don't we, has said that it's going to happen with Jebison. I've not seen the actual comments on that from Scott, but that is what Billy Hughes has reported here on this edition of You Orns Extra on Instagram Live, and of course on here live on YouTube at You Orns WFC. It's great to see everybody. Thank you very much indeed. We will probably do a quiz another time. Jack Taverner says, save the quiz for a draw. Yeah, we'll do the quiz another time, and maybe if a draw ever comes, exactly. Ah, dear. If a draw ever comes, we'll do the quiz then. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. We'll see about that, Jack Taverner. Thanks for the comment, mate, and the laughing emojis on Instagram. It's great to have you aboard on both Instagram and, of course, here on YouTube as well. Watching live around the world here from California, sunny, well, rainy San Francisco, California at the moment, as we continue here on the post-match. Watford 2, Derby 1 was the final score. I think most people have said that Musa Sissoko is the man of the match. I agree with that. The You Orns man of the match is Musa Sissoko. Most of the players have said that as well. Billy Hughes says it's because of Cleverly. Jebison was impressed by his plans, and so Jebison is on his way, according to Billy Hughes. And Scott Duxbury, he has quoted, or at least mentioned here, was impressed by the plans of Tom Cleverly, and that, according to Billy Hughes on Instagram, is what has motivated Jebison to make the move to Watford. And let's see if that does get officially announced. I hope it does. I hope it's true. And thank you, Billy Hughes, for your comments. I need to verify for myself about what's going on with that. But thank you at least, Billy. Thank you for at least talking about it. Jack Tabanor, excuse me, Jack Tabanor, a very good day to you as well. See you soon, mate. Have a good 3 days, and see you on Tuesday night. Thank you. You too as well, Jack. Take it easy, Jack Tabanor. Enjoy yourself and enjoy this win tonight. And we'll get ready for Tuesday for the game against Plymouth in the Carabao. Really good stuff from everyone. I'll see you soon. Yours, Billy Hughes, thank you very much indeed. I'll be reading your comments still on YouTube. We'll go for another minute or two on YouTube. We'll continue on Insta as well. For those of you who want to come in and comment, great to see you, Billy. Great to see you, Jack. Everybody on the Instagram, thank you so very much indeed. We'll take a couple more from here, and then we'll move on. In fact, I'll close up you Instagram right now, but read out some more of your comments on YouTube. Thank you to everyone on Instagram for joining. And until next week on Instagram, until Tuesday on Instagram, with the You Orns post-match and all the rest of it on You Orns WFC on Instagram. Take care, everybody, on Instagram, and we talk again soon. Have a good rest of your Saturday. So that is it for YouTube, for Instagram. Sorry, we've still got a few more minutes here on YouTube. Just about 2 or 3 more minutes. Read out your comments here. And here's what Matt has to say here on YouTube. I think at the moment, with the way Cleverly is managing this club, he needs to be here for the whole season. Cleverly is manager. That there's the manager we have not had in a long time. I agree. Cleverly, he needs to be here for the entire season. And Matt, let me just say this to you and to everyone watching on YouTube. Before this season started, I made a prediction that Tom Cleverly would last the entire season, would finish out the entire season at Watford. That was my prediction before the season began. And I'm sticking with that prediction now. No reason not to. There's going to be a bump or two in the road. I think we have to be honest and realistic about that as Watford fans. They didn't mention this on either X or on Instagram. But for now, let's enjoy the gravy train. Let's enjoy this gravy train. It's been absolutely sensational. And there's no reason to back away from that gravy train now. So look, it's 4 of 4, 3 of 3 in the championship. Life is looking good. Very good start out of the gates for Watford. The sky is the limit. It's been a very solid start. You can't argue with 3 from 3. I don't care who you are. 3 from 3 is very, very good. It's the very best possible. You know, when you've got 3 wins from 3 in the championship, you're going places against the fact that, look, a lot of people did not look at Watford and rate them very highly at all this season. A lot of people, meaning a lot of Watford fans. There are a lot of Watford fans that were very down on this team, did not expect to see what they've seen so far. Some even talking about relegation for this lot, which is just absolutely unbelievable that people said that before the start of the season. I was not in that group. I was all about Watford mid-table, maybe 8th or 9th, but not anywhere near relegation scraps and not in the playoffs, maybe pushing toward it, but not quite there. But look, all the predictions now go out the window, don't they? Because we clearly see, we clearly see how good Watford have been so far, even though we still need players. We still need a goal scorer who can put the ball in the back of the net, and we still need another defender in the back line that can help us in central defending. I think that would be very important for us because, of course, we had lots of injury problems the last season or two, and it showed how thin the squad was. We still need to bulk up this squad, and these signings that we hope to bring in by the 30th of this month are going to be a long way toward, getting us the kind of squad that we really need, the depth that we need. Quadwell Bar needs to stay at this club. I don't want to see any nonsense about him being moved out of here for another loan spell. He's been very, very good. You see how important it's been. He's been critical to us this season. You can't leave him out of the plans for this season, and you can't ship him off to another place. He is now ready for Watford to be a Watford player and to knuckle down as he's done and put in the great work that he's done. He's been outstanding. Look, you've got to look at these fixtures now. Watford have, of course, the next game in the championship is on September the 1st, a Sunday, and that will be at Bramall Lane against the newly relegated Sheffield United. That's going to probably be the first tough test for Watford this season. I do hope that they still have a 100% record after that game. And that is going to be a very tall order for Watford, but it's not impossible, of course. September the 1st is a Sunday. That's the next championship game, so that's just over a week from now. Of course, before that, it's that Tuesday game against Plymouth in the Carabao Cup. Right now, let me read out, once again, before I get back to your comments on YouTube, let me read out the table for Watford at the minute. The top 3 in the division. Sunderland on top by goal difference only. +7 for them on 9 points. For us, we are +5 on 9 points, and that's really the difference between top and automatic in terms of the second place spot. And then Blackburn on 7 points as well. WBA, West Brom, also on 7. They're in 4th. So those are the top 4 positions in the championship at the moment. Watford winning today. We've scored more goals than Sunderland have, but we've also conceded 3, including the goal today that we conceded against Derby. The first goal we've conceded this season at the Vic, by the way, that came today in the 2nd minute of play. It was very early, but Watford were still sleeping at that point. Let me just read out a few more comments for you on YouTube, and thank you very much indeed. We're going to be saying goodbye here in a couple of short moments. Couldn't agree more. on Cleverly. That's SR commenting there. Matt and SR, and then the season that's happening, they're on the same page there. SR says, haven't had this good team vibe for quite a few long seasons. Yep, I agree. You know, quite a few. It's been quite some time before, since Watford fans have been this bullish. Now that we've seen a few games and a few of them in progress, we are absolutely, I've got to think that we are definitely thinking that this team can do some special things this season. Of course, it is very, very early, so we've got to figure that out too. But you'd rather have a great early start like this than a start in the other direction. So we've not had a 100% record in 3 championship games for a long time. I can't remember, even when we got promoted, did we even have a 100% start after 3 championship games? The last time we got promoted in 2021. I know that the first game we played that year was against Middlesbrough. It was at the Vic. It was a Friday night game, standalone game, and it was Tom Cleverley, if I'm not mistaken, who scored the goal. It's either Tom Cleverley who scored, or it might have been Sierralta. I forget who it was, or Craig Cathcart. It might have been Tom Cleverley who scored the only goal of that game against, I'm doing this off the top of my head, against Middlesbrough. That was way back at the start of that season that we would end up going up. And I don't think we even went through the first 3 championship games that season, winning all 3 of them. I don't think we did. But this season, to win 3 from 3, to have a manager like Tom Cleverley, you know, this has really been a very good thing. I think the board would be wise to behave themselves and allow this man to manage and do his job. I'll read out the rest of your comments. Rocco has chimed in. Hello, Rocco. Thanks very much for coming aboard here with your comment. Rocco says, I hope we get rid of Rajovic. You know what? Listen, Rajovic has been largely a disappointment. I know he won the game for us on early in this season, the first game of the season against Millwall. Fine. Can't complain about that. But Rajovic, for me, has not done enough. I would agree, Rocco. He's not done enough to justify being a regular starter on this team or being a regular in the team. Look, I'm sorry, he might have scored 10 goals or whatever it was last season to Bio's 7 or 8. But the fact is, he don't work hard enough for me. He's not aggressive enough on the ball, doesn't hold up play enough, doesn't influence the game enough. I know it's a lonely task to be a striker up top, but you've got to influence the game. You do your running, you do the runs, you watch your offside and all the rest, but you've got to be more involved in the game. I'm sorry, he's not involved in the game. And you can't have a player like that on your team when everybody's getting into the meat of things. Georgie's running all over the place. Bio's all over the place. You know, Ryan Andrews has been busy for much of the game, at least in the first half, very busy indeed. I'm sorry, you cannot have a striker like that be so ineffectual, not putting his stamp on the game at all. Rocco, I agree, I have to say. I would not be shedding a tear if Rajovic were to walk out the door after this transfer market shuts. I wouldn't. Not to be harsh on him. It's just to be honest about what we're looking at. As Watford fans, as Watford supporters, I'm sorry, he's not going to do. He's just not going to do at this club. And so, Rocco, thanks for the comment. I think you're absolutely right. I think Bio needs to get a bit more respect from the Watford fan base. There are 1 or 2 of you tonight here on YouTube and on Instagram and on X who actually stuck up for Bio and said, yeah, you know, he's done a good job, even though he ain't scored the goals that we'd like him to score enough. And he could have had the hat trick today. The man works awfully hard for the shirt. I'm sorry, I'd rather have a player like Bio. Yes, he don't score enough, but the man works hard for the shirt every game. He's been good all season. He was very good last week and didn't score. He was decent against Millwall, didn't score. And today I thought he was very good again and got the goal. What's not to like? That was a world-class goal. That was a worldy goal from Bio. Well taken. And he'll score great ones like that, and he might just hit one over the crossbar with an open goal. It happens. But the man works hard. There's no substitute for hard work. You've got to have grafters on your team. If your team don't have no grafters, who cares about how many goals Rajovic scores? I said this earlier. Ronaldo, of course, not comparing anybody to Ronaldo in terms of world class. But Ronaldo never grafts. He never works for the team. Never. Never, ever, ever. He's a legendary footballer, world class, but he never works for the team either. I'd rather have players that work for the team, even if they ain't scoring as many goals as someone like a Ronaldo scores. I'm sorry, Ronaldo's never defended in his life. When's the last time Rajovic was back there defending credibly and tracking back and developing play and holding up the ball? Big strapping lad like Rajovic, he don't hold up the ball. And Bayo's got a lower center of gravity, and he holds up the ball more often than not. He gets involved. He tracks back. I mean, what do you want from? I don't know what some of these Watford fans want from him. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm going to read out more comments. Matt has said some of those fans at the moment that have said about relegation might be changing their minds after how well we've been playing after 4 games. Matt, couldn't agree more. I think you're going to hear very little from those fans now. And I challenged a couple of them on YouTube, on Instagram last week, because that's where the bulk of this incoming was before the Millwall game, Matt. There were a number of them said relegation scrap incoming. And I'm talking, what are you on about? In relegation scrap incoming? Really? Before the game against Millwall, you ain't seen the game yet. And they were all talking relegation scrap and bottom 6 and all that nonsense. And one of them at least admitted that he got it wrong and that he absolutely was going to get off of that nonsense. He admitted that to his credit. But the rest of them didn't. And Matt, you're absolutely right. Those Watford fans now, you're not going to hear a peep out of them the rest of this season, unless, of course, we start to have a bad patch of results. And then you'll start to hear that chorus again. That is the fickle nature of Watford fans. But I'm sorry, even with the lack of transfer business we've done this season, Matt, so far, to have people talking relegation scrap, and I know part of it was off the back of last season that was so poor for us, and then Cleverley came in and tried to revive things a bit. Still, even with that, to say that Watford were going to be in the bottom 6, just unbelievable. Rocco says, do you reckon, Jack, this is from Rocco here on YouTube, do you reckon Daniel, I can't even talk now, Daniel Jebison will be good for us? I think he will. He's not going to be brought in here to be the man, so to speak, but he will be in here as a player who knows his role. I would suspect when he does join, because that's what all signs are pointing to now with Jebison. When he does join us, Rocco, I do think he's going to be helpful. He is a more prototypical striker. He was brought in, I think, from Blackburn, then went to Bournemouth as a loan player, did not get the time. Whichever club he came from in the Championship to go to Bournemouth, didn't get the playing time at Bournemouth at all, really. He wanted a taste of the Prem, didn't really get it under this new manager that they've got there. And so now he wants a new lease on life. I think he's going to be useful for us because a player like that has got a lot to prove. Even though he's not going to be the man, so to speak, he will be a complementary player. He will be a striker. Yes, a lot will be on his shoulders in some instances, but I think he's got a point to prove, and he's hungry. I think Daniel Jebison, a player like that, who was good where he was in the Championship, then going to a club like Bournemouth or thereabouts, who did not really give him a chance. He's got a lot of fire in his belly, I suspect, Rocco, and I think he will be good for us. We will, of course, will absolutely see, though, Rocco, whether my prediction, it turns out to be correct or not. But Rocco, thanks for the question on Daniel Jebison, who is imminent. It is reportedly going to be Daniel Jebison coming in for Watford as the striker that we need. And we do need strikers. Listen, we need another number 9 in here. Rajovic just has not been the answer, and Bayo has not scored as often as we would like. But look, the bottom line is, fellow Watford supporters, you've got to be pleased with the kind of effort that he has put in, that Bayo's put in. He is set to join Watford. It's going to be a season-long loan. We've seen the forecast, and he is coming in. He actually did make a Premier League start. I'm sorry, just looking at something here. He did make a Premier League start with Bournemouth. He's going to be a loan player for Watford, Jebison. And the bottom line is that he will come in on loan for the rest of the season. He's only 21 years old. I mean, I think he's going to be a much-needed shot in the arm in terms of your strike force. He adds I'll tell you what he does add, Rocco, and I'm sorry I didn't add this earlier. He has a lot of pace. A lot of pace, a lot of quickness. He's more of a, I think, from what I've seen of him, a player that runs off the shoulder with the ball. I don't want to start talking about Andre Gray, but he is the kind of player who likes the ball on the ground, and he can run at defenders, and he can run off the pass in off the box, and run with that last defender and do some things. I think he's actually came from Sheffield United, not from Blackburn. I'm sorry about that. So look, the bottom line is that we're getting Jefferson, as other fans have said, and I think that I think he will be good for us. 21 years old, Rocco. That's not a bad shout. Young lad, hungry, lots to prove, fearless. You want a younger striker who's fearless. Remember when we brought in the likes of Aubameyang a season or two ago? I'm not Aubameyang. Brett Assombalonga from a few seasons, last season or the season before. Remember we brought him in, and it just didn't work, did it? Didn't work. Remember we brought back Dennis the Menace? Didn't work, really, did it? Didn't really work for us. These are older players who are looking to recapture glory versus a Daniel Jefferson who is 21 years old, got a point to prove, fearless, youngster, didn't get the playing time really at Bournemouth that he wanted, and he's going to be hungry to score. I think the championship is going to really be the place where he's going to flourish for us, and I think he will help us. We'll have another Daniel in the squad, Daniel Batman and Daniel Jefferson. So that's really all for now on this edition of the You Orns post match on YouTube. Thank you very much indeed for all of your comments here on YouTube at You Orns WFC. Please follow along here by subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, which you've done. Thank you so very much. For all the commenters today, Matt and SR and Rocco and Greg and Brown, Electrons and Jay, and numerous others, the Gaming Lemon, Romans, all of your comments. Thank you, all of you, for commenting, for watching on the channel today. I really appreciate it. We're back on Tuesday. It's going to be on Tuesday after the game, though, I think, on YouTube. But certainly, if I don't do a post-match YouTube here, it's going to be certainly next Saturday, or I should say next Sunday, September the 1st, a week from tomorrow, for Sheffield United against Watford. That will be, of course, the next championship game. It's the away game that's coming at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United against Watford. That's a week from tomorrow. So I'll definitely see you here then. But we'll see about YouTube possibly in midweek against Plymouth. Definitely will be a You Orns WFC Instagram. So please go to You Orns WFC and follow on Instagram. That will be coming up, a live one of those after the match on Tuesday. We'll also probably be doing some X as well at You Orns WFC. Thank you, everybody, for watching. The final score today at the Vic: Watford 2, Derby County 1. That's 3 on the spin in the championship for the Hornets. And, of course, 3 wins in a row at home. That's incredible. We only won 6 home games all of last season. We've won half as many as that in just 3 matches. 3 from 3 at the Vic. Wow. Great stuff there. Bring on Plymouth. Come on, You Orns, said Matt. Matt, thank you again for that. Take care, everybody. To all of you watching this now or later here on the You Orns WFC YouTube channel, thank you. Please subscribe. Please spread the word about the channel. There'll be a You Orns podcast as well on Apple, on Spotify, and other platforms coming up a bit later on tonight or early on Sunday. But for now, that is it. My name is Omar, coming to you live here from San Francisco, California. And until next time, you take care and have a good night.